Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Gina and I make videos about houseplants and houseplant related content, and I make videos every week, so you should hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of those videos. So I'm super excited about today's video, and it is all about my 2023 wish list plants and plans without a T for the new year. And these are plants and things I want to do this year on my channel and just with my plant collection in general. So I have a lot of plants already, and I don't really, I kind of feel like I'm at capacity for the plants I can bring into my collection, but there are a few that I might make an exception for, that I might try to just squeeze in. I don't know, we'll see, but these are wish list plants, and I'm not going to get every single one of them, I don't think. But if I should come across them locally, or I see a really good price online for these plants, I might just make an exception and bring them into my home collection. All right, so let's get right into it. And I'm going to start with plants, and I will put a picture here so you can see what it is I'm interested in. And the first one is the Philodendron Tortum, which I think probably most of us are familiar with. It seems to be really popular. I think I've seen it on a few wish lists of other YouTubers this year. So this plant, I think, is just fascinating. The way it looks, to me, it doesn't even look like a philodendron. It reminds me of, it's got that wackiness of the Ripsalis genus, and it also kind of has like a palm look about it. And I just think they're just so cool, and I'd love to have one in my collection. So I would say there's a pretty good chance that I will add that one to my collection this year. So yeah, it's higher up on the list. All right, so my next one is another philodendron, and I'll put a picture here, and that is the Philodendron Rio. So I think these plants are just absolutely gorgeous. I like the Philodendron Brazils. I've had one in the past. I did end up selling it when I did a plant purge a couple of years ago. I kind of regret that now. But so I saw the Rio. I don't remember where I saw it, maybe on Instagram. And I was just like, wow, that is so beautiful. So I started researching it last year, 2022, and I was looking on Etsy to maybe find one to add to my collection. And then I came across the silver stripe. So I found a really good price on one of those on Etsy, and I added that to my collection. And I have it here to share with you guys. This is my Philodendron silver stripe, and I am just so enamored with this plant. Look at this leaf. It's just gorgeous. So this has really sparked my interest in adding more of these kind of Brazil type philodendrons to my collection. But honestly, I'm really content with this plant right here and watching this one grow. So while the Rio is on my wish list for this year, it's kind of low on my wish list because I love this one so much, and I'm really looking forward to watching this one grow, and this might keep me content for the year. So, but we'll see. If I find a good price on a Rio, or if I find it locally, I might just pick it up. But the Philodendron Rio is on my wish list this year. All right, so the next plant on my wish list for 2023 is the jewel orchid. Now, I was at my local nursery last month, I think it was, and they had one. And I had a jewel orchid in the past. I also got rid of that one. But this one that I saw at the nursery, it was in bloom. And mine never bloomed. And I had never seen one in person with its blooms. And I was blown away. It is so pretty. And I was just like, wow, I would love one. I would love to have one. So it's on my list this year. It's not high on my list, but if I come across one at my local nursery again, there's a good chance I might pick it up. All right, so the next plant on my list this year is the Maranta. Now I picked up a variegated Maranta last month, I think, or 2 months ago, and I found it on Etsy, and here, I have it right here to share with you guys. And this is that beautiful, just love it. It's beautiful variegated Maranta, and this sparked my interest in adding more to my collection. So I think the next one I would really like is the rabbit's foot Maranta, and then after that the lemon lime Maranta, and then the red Maranta. So yeah, Marantas. I think they're just gorgeous, and I think it's so cool how at night they close up, and they're fairly easy for me to take care of. Like this one, it's been doing really well for me. I haven't gotten any crispy edges on this one. And yeah, I would really like to add more of the Marantas to my collection. All right, so the next plant I want to add to, or that is on my wish list that I'd love to add to my collection this year, is the simple but beautiful African violet. So the African violet has been a part of my life for what feels like forever, because my dad was a big collector of African violets. And I remember as a kid, he had this tray sitting on the kitchen counter and all these different flower color African violets sitting there, and I love them. So he really got me into the African violets, and actually my very first plant on my own was an African violet. And I found a picture of my violets the other day, and I thought I would just share that with you. So these were the two I had in college, and these are sitting on my desk at college. And I just think they're so cute and pretty, and for me they're fairly easy to care for. And I do actually have an African violet right now in my collection, which is right back here, and I just thought I would share it with you guys. And this is, you can't really tell, but it's a variegated African violet, and I lost the variegation on it, but I'm trying really, really hard to get it back. And you can kind of still see it there, starting to come back right there. So I think what happened was I had this in too bright of a light, and I don't know. I think that's why it lost its variegation, but I've since moved it, and now I'm getting some variegation again. So that's why I have that theory. So this variegated version here is so beautiful when it's got its full variegation, and I'm not sure what color flower this one is. I think it's either pink or purple. But I just put it in this self-watering pot here. I've never done that before with African violets, so I'm curious to see how this works out. And yeah, I see African violets all the time at big box stores or even at my nurseries, and I always stop to look because I just love them so much. So if I come across one that really speaks to me, and I might just pick it up. So African violets on my 2023 wish list. All right, so I have one final plant on my wish list, and it's a genus of plants, and it's the Begonia. So I recently picked up the most, in my opinion, the most beautiful begonia in the world, and that's the Begonia Julao. And hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. I got it on Etsy, and I fell in love with it. It's pink, and I'm going to show it to you in just a second here. But this begonia, the Julao, it really sparked my interest in having more begonias. So of course, begonias are not the easiest plants to care for in a house collection, especially if you live in a really dry environment like I do here in Colorado. So I knew I was going to be putting it into like a terrarium environment or in a cloche or something like that, because that's the only way I can really keep my humidity up. So I really bought this for a terrarium because I wanted to start a terrarium with like a mix of different plants. So I want to share that terrarium with you guys, and I have it right here, and this is it. And I will bring you guys in for a close-up so you can really get a good look at this. All right, so this is my terrarium right here, and this top just comes right off, and you guys can see. So this is my Begonia Julao. Isn't that just the most beautiful thing you've ever seen? So I like pink plants, so of course this I love it. I love pink plants. So this is the star of this terrarium, and it is doing so well in here. So I actually have, there's soil underneath here, and then I have the moss on top of that. And this glass terrarium came with, there's like a plastic tray underneath here. Otherwise, I don't think it would do so well. I think there's a good chance that it would start rusting because it's so wet in there. But with that plastic tray in there, I feel pretty confident that it's going to be okay. But so I have this beautiful Begonia Julao, and then I have this asparagus fern. So this is the only fern that I have in my collection. And isn't it just, I just love it. So cute. So then down here I have, this is a Peperomia prostrata or prostata. It's the string of turtles. And this is really, it's been taking off. It's growing pretty crazy. And then back here, this is a Peperomia pink lady, which is propagation from my pink lady mother plant. And it's very quickly, it's rooted in this. So we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to keep this one in here. We'll see. And then, so back here, this is a Peperomia also. And darn, I don't think it's showing up so well, but it's so adorable. It's these dark colored leaves with these polka dots, these tiny little polka dots. And darn it, I can't remember the name of it now. But I'll put it up on the screen here, the name of it. I just love these so much. So I have this little cutting, and then I have another little one here of this Peperomia. And these were unrooted cuttings. So, but they're doing really well in there. And I'm really excited to see those grow. And then one last thing I have in here is right here, very tiny. That's a Tradescantia, and I think it's called the Pink Panther. And I ordered a big pot of this, well, not big, it was a 4-inch pot of this, and it shipped. It died. Pretty much it died it died in shipping. So not all the way, obviously, because I was able to save a few pieces of it. And I wasn't sure that this was going to actually be able to survive. But I see new growth on it, which is really exciting. So I know it's going to be okay. There's new growth. So this is my terrarium. So this right here is the reason for my next 2023 wish list thing, and that is to build a larger terrarium. So my plan is to, every time I go to the thrift stores, I'm looking at their glass, like fish tanks, and I'm thinking maybe like a 10-gallon or maybe a 20-gallon tank. I want to pick one of those up, and I just want to build a big terrarium. And I went to a greenhouse that's fairly close to me. It's not local, but it's like 45 minutes from me. And they had this amazing setup. So basically it was like a fairy garden setup, and they had tables, different tables. And of course they didn't have to have it in an enclosure like this because it's in a greenhouse, so they have plenty of humidity. So I want to do something similar to that, but it has to be enclosed for me. So that's why I was thinking like a 10-gallon aquarium or a 20-gallon aquarium. I'm an aquarium gal, in case you guys didn't know. Like right here, that's my fish tank. That's my saltwater reef aquarium. So I really enjoy building aquariums like that, but this will be like a terrestrial aquarium. So I'm really excited about that. That's probably my #1 thing on my wish list this year, is to build a fairy garden in an aquarium. So I took some video when I was at that nursery of this setup that they had, and I want to share it with you guys. So I'm going to put it up here on the screen, and we'll just take a look at it together. So wasn't that just so adorable? I have always loved fairy gardens, and I've always wanted to do one. So I am determined to do that this year. So I just need to find my aquarium for it, and I will take you guys, I will show you guys. I'll probably build it on video for you guys so you can see once it happens. Not sure when it'll happen, but. So there was one part in the video, and I took a screenshot of the one section of that fairy garden that I really want to try and duplicate. And I'm going to put a picture of it right up here. But I loved this little mushroom house. I collect mushrooms. Did you know that? You see all these mushrooms back here? I collect a lot of mushroom stuff. But I love the mushroom-shaped house, and I love the way the begonias look behind it, so I want to do something like that. So along with on my wish list for plants this year, a couple of the begonias I'm interested in would be I wrote it down, the chlorosticta, and I'll put a picture up of it, and the amphioxus. So those two just really strike my fancy. So those two for sure are on my wish list this year. I'm not sure what kind of begonia that is in the photo, but that's really cute, and I think I've seen those locally. So, well, obviously this nursery probably sells it since they have it in their display. I like that it's bright colored. It really stands out. And then also in the photo, you can see they have an alocasia in there, which I have no alocasias in my house collection because of the humidity issue mostly. And this would be a good way for me to add one of those to my collection. And I like this one in the photo because I like how I think that's the silver dragon. I like how it stands out. I also like the cupria, the red, I forget what it's called. I think those are really pretty. But I think maybe the silver dragon would stand out more, like how you see it in the photo. And then of course I'll probably add some other types of plants to my future terrarium that I make. So I'm super excited about this. I'm really excited about it. I can't wait to get that going, and I just need to find my tank, and then we should be good to go. I'm going to probably hang a grow bulb above it from the ceiling, and I'm so excited. I can't wait. All right, so I have one final thing on my wish list for 2023 for my plant collection, and that is adding more crystals to my plants, to just around my plants and in plant pots. And I've really been getting into crystals, and I feel like they just kind of go hand in hand with plants. And I have a few here I can share with you that I've picked up, like this beautiful amethyst. So cool. I love placing them around my plants. I have this cute little rose quartz star. See, I could place this right in a pot, just set it in a pot. So neat. And then I have this clear quartz tower. Very pretty. That looks so nice around my plants. And so that's something I want to do. I want to add more crystals to my plants and around my plants, and I just love it. I love the way it looks. So I actually spend as much time watching YouTube videos about crystals as I do watching houseplant videos. So I'm really interested in that sort of thing. So that wraps it up for this 2023 wish list plans for my plant collection. And I really hope you enjoyed watching this and seeing what future things I want to do. And I'd love to hear what your plans are for 2023, what plants you want to add to your collection. Leave a comment, and I will meet you there in the comments and we can talk about it. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.